Welcome. In this screencast, I'm going to talk a little bit about presenting your assignments. Now, I'm sure you've presented TMAs before, but there can be minor variations between what's being asked for from one module to the next. So here we're going to look at the specific presentation guidelines for this assignment. So firstly, we'll look at what the guidance is, and then we'll look at how, in a very practical way, you can achieve this using specifically Microsoft Word to present your assignments. So if we scroll down, we find on the right hand side some blocks: study resources, audiovisual transcripts, assessment resources, library resources, and it's the assessment resources we're interested in here. If we click on assessment resources, it will take us to information about each of the different assessments for this module. Now, quite often students will jump in and begin to look at TMA1 and what's required within there and miss this general assessment guidance, and it's quite important that you read this. So here we're going to click on the assessment guidance and we see some basic information. Now there's lots of stuff about how you're assessed, the learning outcomes that you're expected to achieve on this module, which should help you in structuring your assignment and understanding exactly what's being asked of you and why. But at this stage, what I'm interested in is this section, 3.4, conventions for presenting work. So this will just tell you some basic things about what you're being asked to do in terms of presentation guidelines here. So they're not particularly specific in this module, and they are sometimes in other ones, but we're being asked to use a clear font, and the examples given here are Times New Roman or Arial, so I'll show you how to change those, in a 12-point font size using 1.5 or double line spacing with reasonably wide margins as well, and we're given an example there. And then we're being told certain information has to be presented on their name and PIN, and we also want to have titles and pages should be numbered. Okay, so we've got some very basic information that we're looking for there. Let's just look at how we do that in practice. So first things first, we're being asked to use an easy to read font, and here we have Calibri, and it looks fairly easy to read to me, but just for the avoidance of all doubt, I've been told that Arial or Times New Roman are examples that are being given, so I might as well change to one of those, simply so that there is no avoidance of doubt. They've already been stated as being clear fonts. So I'm going to highlight the work and simply click here. And I already have Times New Roman because it's one that I use quite regularly on here, but if it's not a font that I use regularly, I would simply start typing it in and it would appear in the box at the top for me to choose. So I'm going to change my work to Times New Roman because I've been told that that's acceptable. I've also been told that I need a font size 12, and at the moment I have font size 11, so again I'm going to highlight the work and I'm going to change it to a 12 by clicking here. Very simple. Now the next bit is something that students don't always know. Sorry, I was interrupted there, so I'm not sure if this actual the words are going to flow, but I'm going to go back onto with what I was going to cover next, and that was doing the word spacing, the line spacing here. So again, it's a very simple process, but one that sometimes people haven't done before, so they're not aware of. So again, we're highlighting the whole text. Good idea to do this at the end so we don't miss any of it. And this is the little icon we want. So we're still under the home menu. I shall just lift that up so you can see it's still on the home menu here, and we're picking up this little here, and I've got it on 1.15 because that's my automatic default setting on here, but I'm going to change it to a 1.5 because that's what's being asked for in this assignment, and it's as simple as that. We can see the text move there. So again, very, very simple. Now, the next thing we're being asked about is using reasonably wide margins, and we're given the example 2.5 centimetres here. Most people will have their work defaulted at that position, but if you don't, this is what you need to do. We're clicking on the page layout menu this time, and margins, and when we've got that, we can look and see last custom settings, so mine is actually set at that. 2.54, so it's a little bit further, but if not, we can click on custom margins and simply choose those margins. We can click up and down and make them the size that's been asked for there. So very, very simple, and we can OK on that. And then the other thing that we're being asked for here is to include some basic information on here. We want name and PIN on the top of the first page, and the pages to be numbered. So let's go in and have a go at that then. So what we're doing here is we're going into a different menu, and this time it's the insert menu. So we're going to click on insert at the top, and here this gives us the options for header and footers. So firstly we want our header in here, and we're clicking a blank one because we're defining what we're going to put in here. So we're being asked for our name and our PIN number. Okay, so we're going to pop that in there. So you'll see that the way I've done that, it puts that on every single page. Now you might remember that in this case we're being asked to only include that information on the first page. So what we need to do first is click different first page and type our information in, and you'll see this time it only comes up on this first page, and we can have something different on the other pages there. We're also being asked to include page numbers, so page numbers go at the bottom. We're going to click on go to footer, and that takes us to the very bottom of the page there. So this is very simple. We can just include the page number by clicking here, page number, and you'll see that appears on the bottom of the page. I'll choose to have it here. Now my preferred style, this isn't all tutors, but you do what you like. I actually like you to write page, and then it says page 1, and on the next one it says page 2, etc. like that. Okay, so you'll notice that I just unclicked the different first page, because what I've managed to do is only include that on the first page, and we want it on them all. So let's just do it so that it's on every page. And you see it appeared on the bottom of the first page and the second page this time. So make sure that you've unclicked this button that we clicked before. Now the final thing we want to do here is make sure that our title is a title. So we're going to close this header and footer, and we're back to the home menu here, and we're simply going to choose our title and make sure it appears as a title by choosing a heading 1 on there, put a line afterwards. And for our references, or for any subheadings that we're going to be including, we want to choose a heading 2 on there. Okay, so we're differentiating. So that's all. I hope that's been useful for you, and I look forward to reading your TMAs.